Joseph, an Anchor FM broadcast on iHeartRadio.
Hello.
Hey, Joseph, what is going on?
Not a whole lot. We got a pretty nice day today. It's going to almost be 70. So for
Wow.
it's pretty nice.
Yeah. Wow, that's pretty damn good. It's hot and muggy here. It's about I'd say about maybe 91 degrees.
Yeah.
So Joseph, this is going to be a big one today, a damn big event today. We got some comedy personalities, two of them actually scheduled for today. We have Brian Reitz joining us here in about 10 minutes. He happens to reside in my home city of New York City. So former New Yorker. Myself, I can relate to his great experience he's going to bring on the show. He's a stand-up comedian and he's a host of his own show. So we're going to dig into that on the first hour. And then the second hour, we're finally, guys, going to have the return of Joan and Jane, the Therapy Twins. So that's going to be a really, really good show. So hope you're on board for this one, Joseph. It's gonna be a funny show.
Yep. I'm ready.
Yeah, we're calling it the Mega Show today. So the Mega Show of comedians, but the show's poster we decided to go with today is how cool is this? So I think it fits the poster very well.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure their verbal hilarity cannot match the response my face gets.
Well, I can tell you,
as far as laughter goes, we gotta laugh at ourselves.
Yeah, I can tell you, Joseph. I don't know what Brian's going to bring to the show in about another 9-10 minutes because I've never had him on the show. He is a comedian and he is a host of his own podcast, which he goes into comedy and it looks like political viewpoints. I was kind of checking out his profile on LinkedIn, or is that LinkedIn, right? Is that how you say it? LinkedIn.com? LinkedIn. Okay. That's why people look at me like a jackass sometimes because I can't pronounce it right. Anyway, I was looking at some of his profile. It looks like he is a comedian / political podcast host. So I'm saying that, just by looking at his profile, it looks like he kind of goes off that platform. But I can vouch for the Therapy Twins because I've had them on the show, Joseph, and they are fucking hilarious, man. You probably like the Therapy Twins. I'm not sure, Brian, but I know you're going to like the Therapy Twins because they are very humorous.
Well, I could certainly use some therapy. So.
Oh, really? What happened?
Oh, yeah. The same old. It's Michigan. Weather's turning shitty. So the usual, what was that? Sad sun something deprivation to whatever they call that sad when you don't get enough sunlight. I forget. Oh, seasonal affective disorder. That's what the hell it's called.
Yeah, I hear you. We just had Brian join in on the show. And then he stepped out. I guess he had seen the message. I told him to pop in around 1:10. It's all right. If he's early, he's early. It's okay. I usually like to carry the show for 5-10 minutes, open it up before I bring somebody in, But hopefully, Brian, if you looked at the message correctly, it said 1:10, but it's okay, buddy. It's okay. Better early than late, right? Right, Joseph?
Yeah, we're like gymnasts. We're very flexible.
Yeah. Yeah. See, folks, Joseph can vouch, for himself here. I'm usually late on things, but I have been trying lately. Remember
Yeah,
those shows?
well, when you record, there's a certain amount of leeway. So, I can understand though, definitely wanting to record than the pressures of a live show. I have been on a few live podcasts. They can be fun too because I mean you never know what's going to happen on a live podcast, and it's not like you're recording so that you can cut a bunch of stuff out. You don't do that. You're like you say, uncut raw. And like I joked with you on Instagram, if it's raw, maybe you should stop rubbing it and put some ointment on it. But that's a whole other topic.
Yeah. That's, oh boy, I'm telling you. Ointment out, I guess.
I gotta get my jokes in before the comedian comes on.
Yeah, hopefully he gets back in here. McKenzie, put that damn note out again. Hopefully we didn't scare him off. He is from New York, so hopefully he has a sense of humor. I mean, Jesus. I'm from New York City, and I have a fucking sense of humor, but
yeah,
anyway.
Everybody's heard my lame humor over several episodes. So, but even bad humor is good humor, and you've got to keep a sense of humor, as we've discussed several different times in this day and age of everything being so damn serious.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, sorry about that. I was just I had to mute myself real quick so I could. Usually, Joseph, you there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, usually if I have to talk more than like a minute, I'll mute myself real quick so I can talk to McKenzie, because I had to make sure to tell him, where's my head at? Sorry, Joseph. The coffee, it's 1:00 in the afternoon, and I need some coffee. I haven't got it this morning. Usually, when I talk to McKenzie, I usually mute myself more than a minute to talk to her to discuss. Hey, we had Brian in the show. He jumped in. We heard the ping. Usually, there's a ping. You don't hear the ping, folks, in the Spotify and the iHeartRadio Final Cut. But obviously, Joseph and myself, we can hear the ping when somebody comes in. But the ping came in and then he left. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully I didn't scare him off. I did promote the hell out of you, buddy. I want to let you know that, on your social media platform. So hopefully, man, you don't give me the big, stiff and, fuck you, Michael. I'm not coming on the show today. So if that's the case, then it's okay. Joseph and I can get into something, before clock.
we can ad lib until the therapy twins come on at 2:00 if need be. And I did see you had a thing from Saucelin on your Instagram about the busing stuff. So we could always go into another hour of that stuff again.
Yeah, hopefully not, but but by the way, about the bust, I thought that was funny as hell because Saucelin actually took that picture and he sent that to me, and then McKenzie and I threw like the little graphic, on the side of the bus where it says the Sauce Express, with his little podcast logo, and I was like, I'm like, Sauce, where the hell did you get that? Where'd you take that photo at? And he actually took that in Texas because obviously I gotta do some catch up with you, Joseph, over the weekend. I had Sauce on the show over the weekend, and we were interviewing some TikTok personalities. By the way, Pink Sunshine decided to come back on. She had such a great time the first time with us last week that she reached out to us over the weekend, and she's like, "When's your next show?" And I'm like, "We're actually doing one this weekend." And she's like, I need to be on the show because I had such a great time with you and Joseph, and I want to bring on another TikTok personality. So I'm like, all right, great. So we brought on this guy. His name is He Who Is Him. I think I got McKenzie. Yeah, she's shaking her head. Okay, I got the right name. Joseph, his handle was like kind of off. He Who Is Him, or Who His. I think it's Who Is I, or I don't know. I couldn't say it right, so I just called him Ed because that's what he put down, in the notations, in the show. So Ed was on the show, and this guy didn't talk. So half the time I'm like, is Ed still with us? Is he still alive?
Unlike me, who you normally can't get to shut up.
Yeah, right. You carry the show for like maybe 60% of the time, but it's all right. We love you, Joseph.
But yeah, that bus from down there, I wish Sauce would have asked him specifically if it came from El Paso, because that's a big thing. I responded to that post. The Democrat mayor of El Paso has been sending illegals up to New York City for months, and Eric Adams was quiet about it. But the minute Abbott, Ducey, or DeSantis do it, oh my God, the feigned outrage. It's, please keep showing your hypocrisy on this issue, people. More and more people are waking up, because even the left-wing loon media like CNN and MSNBC, I call them MSNBCils, have to cover it. They're covering it, and they're exposing their hypocrisy. They're trying to spin it, of course, to the Democrats' favor, but all they're doing is exposing the hypocrisy.
Yeah, we got into that over the weekend with Pink Sunshine and Ed. Right. Sorry, Ed. I can never get your handle name correctly on TikTok, but apparently they're having the same issue in Canada, Joseph. So.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
But
we got Brian back.
Yeah. How are you doing, Brian? Sorry about the. We seen you come in earlier, and we're just seeing the notation from Matchmaker FM. Welcome to Savage Unfiltered, sir. How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I realized I joined a little early, so.
It's all right. It's all right. We usually like to open up the show 5-10 minutes into it before we bring a guest in to open up the show, say how are you doing to the listeners and this and that. Brian, this is my panelist here that I usually have on the show on Mondays and Wednesdays. This is the author of Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You, Joseph M. Leonard.
How you doing, Brian? Let me start off and be that guy. Okay, funny man, make me laugh. Right? How many times a day do you get that?
I think it's not quite on demand, but we'll see how I do.
Yeah. Well, it's like being an author, like somebody walking up to me and saying, "Oh, okay, you're an author. Tell me a metaphor." It's like, and I'll be like, "Well, metaphors are for amateurs. I'm beyond metaphors. I use meta sixes." Bum.
Well, that was a metaphor for describing comedians versus authors.
So Brian, I have to say this one thing here. First, you happen to reside in the city that I love. I was born and raised in Queens, New York. So a former New York City man myself, now residing in the Sunshine State of Florida. I gotta say, love you, buddy. You're living in the probably the best city in this country. Can you tell us a little? What's that, Joseph?
It was until recently. How many times have you been mugged this month already, Brian?
I've been here a little over 4 years, and I have never been mugged. I did for the first time in the last month. I actually got spit on, so that was a new experience for me. But yeah, I would say that overall that was I would hope an exception. But congrats to your either Mets or not congrats to your Mets. Sorry about your Mets. Congrats to your Yankees if you're still a fan of them.
Oh, I hate them both, Brian. I'm a Boston Red Sox fan, buddy.
All right. Well, I don't know how that happened growing up in Queens, but
Yeah. Yeah, I had to choose between the Yankees and the Mets, and I was like, you know what? They're both overrated teams. Well, yeah, I can't really say that. I mean, Boston's pretty overrated themselves, but I decided to go with Boston, you know? But,
He's odd. He welcomed being bullied, so he went with the Bo Sox so he could be bullied more in New York.
but Brian here, I see that you do comedy. Are you a stand-up comedian, or is that something that you just do as a passion?
I'd say a little bit of both. Like, that's something I kind of grapple with a little bit. Like, I feel like when you say that you're a stand-up comedian, then there's a level of seriousness that you take yourself, which I guess you need to succeed. But it's like I'll run. I run a lot of races. I've done a few marathons, but I don't want to call myself a runner because I feel like there's like a level of like self-importance that comes with that. So I would say that I'm more serious than someone who says it as a passion, but I wouldn't be like I'm giving up. I'm not like crashing on couches, running to open mic. I hope to one day do it well enough, but yeah, I don't know if that answers the question.
So you're pretty much like an in-between type of guy then with that industry, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of like giving myself an out. So if it doesn't work out, I can be like, oh, see, I didn't even care, but I want to do it.
Yeah, so you have a passion for it. And it's good that you're at least attempting your passion, and like you said, you're at least being realistic, looking at it. And if it works, it works, and if it don't, that's okay. You at least went for it.
Yeah, because I did it a few times. I probably like 10 to 15 times before COVID, and then I think back in like 2019, I just totally bombed, and I didn't get on stage. And then we were second side, especially in New York. I think Michael, you're in Florida, so little different vibes here and there, I'm sure. But I was sitting around for a year and a half, and I'm like, why am I even in this city? It hit us hard. If you're going to be second side, you don't want to be stuck in a 400 square foot apartment. And then finally kind of forced myself back out over the last year and have really been enjoying it more.
Oh shit. Yeah. I can remember, man, like those small apartments in New York. I mean, my last apartment in New York City was like probably no bigger than an average hotel room. So I definitely understand the small apartments up there. Tell us a little bit about this podcast here. I see you're a co-host of How Cool Is This podcast?
Yeah, so it's a 5-minute podcast.
5 minutes. Wow.
5 minutes only. Basically, anyone who has an idea, we invite them to send it in. It can be something they're working on, like if you have the book that's coming out, where we've had authors talk about their books, or it's something they've never heard of or made. Like my now fiance, when we first started the show, came up with the idea for content printed on toilet paper called intertoilet paper. Like she doesn't know how to make toilet paper, but maybe someone would listen and be like, "How cool is that?" So anyway, people send in a 90-second elevator pitch, and then we talk about how cool it is.
Wow. Brian, I have to say, man, 5 minutes is probably like the shortest podcast I ever heard of. I mean, I know there's short podcasters out there. We have the Hodge twins here in Texas, not too far from me. They do like little 15, 20-minute podcasts, but 5 minutes. Wow. It's short, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good with today's Twitter attention span. I think that's you may have yourself a nice little niche there. And like vlogs, I mean, vlogs, you like to keep them 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 max. Because again, Twitter attention span these days is an issue. So you're like, hello, how you doing? Right to the point, and we're done.
Yeah, that was our thinking. I would say that it's been more challenging to grow an audience than we thought, because I think people come to podcasts and they're like, all right, I have an hour, I'm going to listen to a podcast. Maybe we'll get the occasional person who will listen to 12 of our episodes instead. But usually if someone has 5 minutes, they're like, all right, I'm going to go on TikTok. Like they're not like, oh, I'm going to go catch a quick, how cool is this?
Yeah, I would have to say, I mean, I've been doing this now, for going on the third season, and I can say, man, you have to develop content. If you don't have content on your show, you're losing your audience. You have to switch it up every now and then. I suggest, that to the new people coming into the industry, switch it up, man. Stop talking about the same thing, because if you're going to talk about the same thing, you're losing audience. They're going to say, what the hell with this show? We're just going to find something, a little bit better.
Yeah, I've been reluctant to join TikTok, but I finally did the other day because I know Michael kind of uses it to promote the show. So I went and put my book trailer. I got a video book trailer that lasts a minute. So I'm on TikTok, but I've only got one thing on there. It's my book trailer. But you could probably, so how long can a TikTok video go? I know they now allow extended ones, but I don't know how extended means. Where you could probably put some imagery to your 5 minute podcasts and post those on TikTok, couldn't you?
We could. I think I've avoided using TikTok. I feel like I have a different reason every time, but ultimately I think it's rooted in stubbornness, where I didn't think it would work out, and then I was like, oh, China, or oh, data collection, or oh,
Yeah.
lip syncing. But really, it was just, now at this point, it's like, if I join TikTok now, then I'm admitting that I was wrong, and I don't want to do that.
Oh,
Yeah, Joseph. To answer your question, man, it's like 3 minutes or something. 3 minutes on. They used to be like 15-second little clips, similar to like the original reels on Instagram, but now they extended that time to like 3 minutes.
yeah. Well, it's like I said, I did finally break down and join TikTok. And the way I see it with social media, I get into this argument all the time with, somebody on Gab or Parlor or Truth Social. It's like I got to be loyal to my one platform. Why the hell would you limit your reach in that way? I'm on 14 different social media platforms. Why would I want to limit my audience?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, go ahead, Brian. I was going to say something here. Well, 1 second, but yeah, I noticed that you don't have Instagram, you don't have Facebook. You kind of only limit yourself to Twitter, and just the website. Like, how come? Why is that? How come you don't? How come you don't like doing Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah, I mean, I would say at some level it's rooted in mental health. Another level is I just don't really trust Zuckerberg. I feel like most people don't. He has like a 12% favorability rating or something. But I felt like I was just wasting my energy. I'm still on LinkedIn because I think that's going to be the last thing that anybody deletes. Like, it's not the most exciting platform, but like at some point, 5 years from now, like you look at 10, 15 years ago, it was MySpace and everybody had it, and then they deleted it. Facebook, young people are deleting it, and whatever. Anyway, yeah, I think I used to be pretty involved in it professionally. I got kind of burnt out. I felt just miserable. I would like go out to places. I'd go to a party. I'd go to a music festival. I'd go to just like travel anywhere, and I wouldn't be thinking about oh, I'm going to enjoy myself. It was like, what content am I going to create? Or it was like I was centralized around what I would do digitally and not in person. So I think I divested from those to just have a better sense of reality, which has worked. And then also, I don't really respect the founders of them. Twitter, I feel like that one's hard to quit because you just have to keep up with the news. But I would say that in doing so, it's really hampered the audience growth. So that's the thing. To your point is like, yeah, maybe you're happier and more fulfilled, but no, you're not really like growing your audience or making yourself accessible.
Yeah, I can agree.
How much time you spend there. Yeah, I mean, it can be bad for people's mental health if they spend too much time. Like I say, I'm on like 14 platforms. I have the Firefox browser that I have open just for all those tabs to be open. And I really don't pay a lot of attention to what other people are saying, except once in a while when to engage. But you're right. I mean, Twitter is, still where the biggest audience is. But the way I see it, like I said, I don't limit myself. I just don't spend a lot of time on them. And if I post on one, I then cut and paste to the others, because that way then you're reaching more people. You're reaching different audiences.
Yeah, I could see that, Joseph. I mean, this gentleman we're talking to right now, he has like, I see he got like 8+ years, man, just in digital marketing. Is that something that, you thought of doing, when you were younger, or how'd that come into play?
No, I'd say when I was 8, I wanted to be a professional athlete. I'd say by the time I was 18, I realized, or probably sooner than that, I realized, you know what, I'm not quite the build for that. So then I wanted to be a sports writer. I went to journalism school. Midway through journalism school, kind of looked at the economic realities of being a journalist, and I was like, all right, well, I know how to write, I know how to tell stories. So I got into like the word you use, content. You know, I feel like it kind of is a catch-all, but you know, it's like basically, you know, I know how to write. So I was working on blog posts, and then kind of went into marketing from there.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, they use that term content now very loosely. Everything is content, right? Back in the day, I don't know how old you are, Brian. I mean, I'm 40 years old, but in my day, you know, in the early 90s, late 80s, when I grew up, we never called it content. We would always call it material, you know, or footage. You rarely hear of that anymore. Footage or material. Everything is content now, whether it's audio content, video content, imagery. So, I mean, I get it today. You know, you have to stay relevant, you know, with this new term of content, whether it's on social media or, you know, wherever you just, you know, decide to put that at. But this podcast here, I want to get more into that, man, because you know, 5 minutes of podcasting. I know it's short, but you know, even with 5 minutes, do you see, or do you struggle to see where, you know, I mean, 5 minutes, I can't really. Oof. I mean, are you getting listeners with that, or?
It's interesting. So I mean, we have like a pretty stable listener base. I wouldn't say it's like the most listeners in the world by any means, but what's interesting is because it's 5 minutes, we'll see like random surges of, you know, like some days we'll have suddenly like a random like 60 listen, maybe not 60, probably like 20 listens or something, where, you know, it's like clearly someone is just binging through them.
Okay. Yeah.
Which we were able to kind of parlay that into a sponsorship last year. And then, you know, that lasted a couple months. But yeah, I would say that it's interesting because it's like, it's not necessarily when we started releasing episodes, we were thinking, oh, people release 30-minute, 60-minute episodes, so let's do 5 at a time. And then we were looking at it at the listens, and then it would be that people would listen to the most recent episode and they wouldn't listen to the other 4. So then using the data-driven decision, we're like, we'll do what every other podcast is doing and release 1 episode at a time. And you know, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to figure that out, but you know, I think we learned that what everybody is doing is the right way to do it. And so now we're doing just like an episode a week.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, with 5 minutes, I have to say, and Joseph probably will agree with me on this, Joseph, right? I mean, he may fit into a category of his own category just on Spotify. I mean, there's not very much short podcasters out there, very little. So that may be a good marketing strategy.
Yeah, there's something to be said again to try to create your own niche. And I'm going to repeat it again. Today's Twitter attention span. I mean, people, if you short and sweet and to the point, it can be very good. But indeed, like you said, podcast wise, people usually do think in terms of wanting to set aside an hour. But again, you've got a good plan to create yourself a little niche.
Yeah. So, so tell us a little bit more about yourself. Kind of quiet. Usually we have guests that are like, just like, you know, just talking. Usually I have to say, all right, we got to cut in there and, you know, let us talk. But yeah, man, like tell us a little bit more about yourself. Like what else do you do besides the podcasting and then, you know, the in-between stand-up comedy?
Yeah, so I do that. I watch a lot more football than I probably should. I work for a company called, I probably shouldn't say it since I'm not like an authorized spokesman or whatever, but I work for a company called YouGov. They do political polling and market research, and I do marketing for them. And then I have a dog. I think I mentioned, I like to go running, play a lot of intramural sports, and then just living in New York, a lot of interesting stuff going on, whether I want it to be or not.
Yeah, I see the polling, you know, so you do polls. Okay, so what kind of polls? Are they political polls or?
So I don't do the polling. I do marketing for them. But yeah, the company does political polls. They do random stuff. Like they were in the news, I think last year, like May or so, May 2021, for some report that was like, what type of animal do you think you could beat up? And it was like 70% of men said they could beat up a goat, or I don't remember exactly what. But it's like all kinds of stuff. Basically, political polling for relevance. Sometimes the interesting stuff gets a lot of news attention, and kind of makes it less. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, that's a rather interesting poll. If you were to beat up an animal, what animal would you want to beat up? It's kind of like a Babylon Bee poll. It sounds like.
Yeah, it does sound like Babylon Bee. Do you guys? Are you guys like in a partnership with them, or do you guys work with Babylon Bee to get some of that work out, or no?
No. So YouGov it has a big list of people who fill out surveys. So then just sometimes when there isn't as much customer inventory, or just if we're doing a little bit of marketing, we'll come up with kind of stuff like that. But yeah, this one said it was respondents were asked to choose which animal would win in a fight in a series of head-to-head matchups. And I think, 6% of Americans thought they could beat up a grizzly bear in a fight.
Jeez. Wow. And I mean, obviously, so how do you guys come up with these polls? Like, that's my question. Are you getting them from like sources on the internet or what?
No, I mean, sometimes there's a, brainstorm. Sometimes, people that we have kind of data journalists who come up with questions and kind of come up with different stories. Sometimes they have their clients who want to ask questions. And then, I'm just doing the marketing for it, and that more on the business side. So this is probably more of a, I would say, general interest kind of thing. So mine would be more around stuff like, like 80% of people think this brand is a positive, or like think positively about this brand, and then kind of like getting that brand to see it, and then, work with us on various things that they need to know.
So do you get, that kind of traditional product surveying? So I would take it you get firms that reach out to you to do that sort of polling for them then.
Yeah, that's essentially it. And it's like the company started in London 25 years ago. It was the first company to use the internet to do polling. And then they were doing it. The name is YouGov. So it's originally for political polling.
I recognize YouGov. Use them all the time. Yeah.
All right, there you go. Yeah, so they it's like they had the infrastructure for that, and then kind of built out the business stuff from there.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of that. Yeah, that's like you said. It's out of you said it's out of London, right? Right, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that company. Yeah, it's familiar.
I hope in a good way. That means I'm doing my job. Maybe.
Yeah, another internet-based one is Survey Monkey. A lot of people use them, and because I think Survey Monkey tries to give an incentive for people to take all kinds of odd, random online surveys through points and giveaways and things of that nature. Whereas YouGov doesn't. They're try to be more straight-laced in their approach of not trying to, because it's kind of a fine line if you're bribing somebody to take a poll. It's not really, anything internet poll-wise is not really a very scientific poll, because anyone can surf in to take that unless it's sent to purposeful, targeted audience to be a scientific poll.
Yeah. Hey, Joseph, isn't that like a GoDaddy type of company? That survey, you said Survey Monkey, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I have used them myself as part of the Wayne 12th Congressional District Republican Committee after events to send out surveys. You can do some, short couple question surveys for free, but of course they want you to buy the service for more elaborate ones. But yeah, it's not all that scientific, whereas YouGov, it does try to be, I still think, a little more scientific.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I do marketing, so I don't know all the methodology, but we have quite a few people on staff to kind of work through a lot of the like the methodologies and whatnot to make it scientific. And I'm sure there's some level of I think I wouldn't say incentive, but I think that it's very easy for people to not if you're doing an online poll, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go to my Twitter attention span, to your point. So getting people to complete the surveys, and I can't speak to that, but and I will say too, this probably isn't mine to say, but I imagine when is this episode releasing?
This episode is going to be releasing later today, actually. So.
Okay, in which case I won't say anything, but I would say in the coming week that YouGov might have something that is very similar to SurveyMonkey.
Oh, okay,
yeah. I've gotten into a few. I've gone into a few polls, like you said. That they start to get into too many questions. Once you get past a dozen quick questions, and especially if you're expecting an expanded response. I've dropped out of several polls on that. It's like, I'm not going to spend all day here answering.
Yeah. Just to let you know, 1 second, Joseph, I was going to get something in, but it's all right, buddy. It should be releasing like around 5 or 6, Brian, because we got a guest coming up around 2:00, another guest. So with the editing and all that, because we put some editing in here, like really, really good editing for the final cut. So you should look out for it around probably about 6:00, right, McKenzie, right? About 6:00. So
cool. Yeah, no, I listened to a few episodes when you invited me in, and I noticed that it was very well produced. So kudos to, I guess it's McKenzie and you.
Well, we have other people here on the team. We have a graphic editor artist that does all our promotions on social media. And I mean, we're slowly branching over to the other social medias. As you said, with Facebook and Instagram, I can relate to that, man. We get attacked every single day, with, misinformation shit and this and that. I mean, the only platform really that has been good to us to an extent is TikTok, which, I like TikTok. I feel like it's more conservative. And Rumble. I love Rumble. Rumble doesn't really seem to, shadow ban or that censor crap, which I can't stand, because, I mean, we live in a digital age, right? Why can't we express ourselves? I want to get more into some of your polling, right? I find it interesting, as a person that's in that industry. Do you find yourself facing any type of backlash with this, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think all the time. I think anytime a poll shows something that people don't want to see, they're immediately critical of it, in the way that, like in a sports game, if the ref makes a call, then if it's against you, you're going to be upset. I think from what I have heard, and again, I'm on the business side, not on the politics side, but it sounds like there's criticism that comes from both the left and the right. So if that's the case, usually that is good. Like, if both sides think that you're biased against them, then that means that you're probably at some level more objective than not. But yeah, I think any time that you're doing this, like Joseph was saying, it is online polling. So there's an element of who's the type of person to complete a poll, who's doing this, how accurate is it, like bots, there's stuff that you have to kind of look into and consider. And I know that we have a team that does that, because if we didn't, if you're a polling company and you put out wrong information, then nobody anywhere is going to want to work with you. So I could agree with that. You almost sound similar, Joseph. Doesn't he sound like that gentleman I had on from there was a gentleman that I had on from Chicago not too long ago. He has a media company up there, goes by the name of Rip Views. Oh, you had Rip Views. We had him on our podcast too. What's his name? Shoot, I feel bad.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, that's a great newsletter. I'm on it now.
Yeah, you guys could be cousins almost, because some of the wording. I mean, you guys are so similar in so many ways. The way you phrase things. But that's awesome, man. So when did you have him on his podcast? Or have you on? I said that wrong. So, excuse me. I've been up since 4 a.m.
Yeah, Joe Ripper. Yeah. He was on, I want to say, about a month or two ago. And yeah, it was, I mean, I don't want to spoil the episode, but we did think that his idea was cool.
Why didn't you think his idea was cool?
We did think it was cool. And, because it was one, he built something that he thought didn't exist and that was needed. So it wasn't like he just like did this to make money. Not that making money isn't cool, but like when it's so blatantly doing something for the money, that's not traditionally not considered cool. So this is something that he's kind of doing as a service. And then too, it just, he kind of calls out some bullshit, which that's always cool too.
Yeah. He's actually he actually tried doing a podcast, but I don't know if it kind of made its headway. Now, there was like only 2 episodes I noticed, but he really didn't go any further with that, because I told him, even when I had him on the show, I was like, man, you got a good idea. You're a media group that doesn't favor the right, but doesn't favor the left. You're like right in the middle. And that's good. That shows a lot of potential. Just his platform alone, the graphics he puts out on Instagram and Facebook and, other platforms, has a lot of potential. I just understand why he doesn't want to do a podcast, but that's on him. But that's awesome, man. You guys reached out. I wanted to bring that Rip Views in because like you and him are very, very similar in, so many different ways, with the wording. Joseph, you still with us, buddy, or what, man? You taking a nap or what?
Yeah, I think I probably should take a nap. I was up pretty early too.
So
why are you guys up so early today? I guess it's a Monday. I'm off of work today, so maybe it's a work day for you guys.
Yeah, I'm usually up early on Mondays. I mean, McKenzie and I get up around 4. She gets up around 5. And we start putting out the graphics, for the shows and the posters and stuff. I'm a poster guy. I love promoting, different episodes and everything else, which I've learned very, very early. I have a journalism degree and a broadcasting degree myself, and I've learned very, very early in this industry, before podcasting was podcasting. I worked for two radio companies back in the day in New York City, a college radio station right out of Manhattan Tech, which don't exist anymore. And there was another broadcasting on-air radio that I did, basically kind of just to fill in, every now and then in downtown Boston. Another college station that doesn't exist anymore. That's when, you had your terrestrial radio back then. And I learned a long time ago, if you need to promote something to get the word out, you have to promote it like it's, like it's going out of style. And that's what I do. I wake up early in the morning. I get the posters out for the episodes, the graphics, I check out what's, trending on the internet with different things, political viewpoints, sports, everything. So, at first we started off as a political podcast, but then we kind of branched out to other things, So I think that's what makes you successful. You know what I mean, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say politics is kind of interwoven into everything. Like if you take that lens on everything, it can kind of get exhausting for people. But at the same time, even something that's seemingly innocuous like TikTok, there is an element of geopolitical tension there with regulations around data privacy. Like you can kind of ebb and flow between both of them in a way that I feel like from what I listened, that you do pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Unfortunately, politics kind of intrudes on everything these days. It's I turned 60 this year. It wasn't that bad 20, 30 years ago. I mean, politics were there, but they didn't encroach on everything. And today it seems everything. We had an episode on movies, and a degree of politics, of course, encroaches on movies nowadays with all the wokeism that is intruding into movies and everything. So yeah, it's in everything, and you've got to try to step back every once in a while to have something different, to not be monotone and monotonous and a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I was about to say, Joseph, did you forget to hang up the phone again, buddy?
I've got it off to the side and covered, but yeah, you can still hear the daggone thing. Of course, get no call hours before the show or hours after the show, but when we try to record, of course, somebody's got to decide to call.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, Brian, Joseph joins me here from Detroit, Michigan. So love to have him here in Florida. It makes it easier, but he does live in Detroit, so it's all right, Joseph. Just put a freaking towel over it or something,
I thought it was a live caller. We
because
said something provocative, and we had somebody. He's like, "Hey, I gotta speak out on that."
yeah, I do. I cover it with a towel because for some reason the volume control on the phone won't work. I've tried turning off the ringer or turning down the ringer. It don't work.
Yeah. But Brian, we're gonna close it up here with you shortly here, buddy. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention? Something I may have forgot to ask, or something about you, or if anything you want to bring into the show, man. The floor is yours.
No, I mean, all right. So I would say that by proxy of living in New York, I lean more left than right. I think I'm from Texas originally. I went to school in Missouri, so I would say more so than a lot of people in New York have, I would say, a better perspective. But I want to pose a question for you because I think both of you are kind of more right. I haven't developed this comedy bit yet, but I've been working on something about guns and auto insurance, where I feel like a lot of the I think I just like turned it from 1 to like 50 really quick, but a lot of the like mass shootings are usually like early 20s guys, and I feel like auto insurance, you're not allowed to, it's like 3 times more expensive for young men to get than for others. So like I think the bit that I want to work through isn't like men shouldn't be able to get guns. It's like let them drive, like the thinking being like it's kind of crazy that their risk profile is so high that they're legally allowed to charge more money for them. But also like at some level, like the problem is that like young men have like high, I don't know. Anyway, that's just
it almost sounds like, Brian, it almost sounds like a mashup of between a progressive and a Ted Nugent commercial. But man. I don't know, Joseph. You got any comment on that, buddy? I'll leave that to you. That's more your avenue, man.
No, I'm kind of baffled as to how a routine involving the two of those would work. But if you could get it to work, it could be funny.
I don't know. So, Brian, I mean, how do you want to present this? I don't know where you're going with this.
But do you want to present it in like a commercial, or like where are you going with this right here?
No, I mean, I think it would just be a stand-up comedy bit. I personally, hard stance here. I think mass shootings are bad. So
okay,
like, that's kind of a joke, but not that I think that like, obviously everybody thinks that. But I think it's either it's like, I don't think ever in America is there going to be a point where guns are not, if you're under the age of 25, that you're not allowed to buy a gun. Like that's never going to happen. It's not even worth proposing. But I do think it's worth examining. Like, I think ultimately what I want to get to that is like, why is there such a similar profile on all of these people who are committing these crimes, and what can we do about that?
Yeah, it's a human nature, a psychology thought kind of angle there, and I can understand that. And again, you kind of got us to politics again now, though. But if you eliminate guns, it doesn't eliminate the murders, because I have a London, England chapter in Terror Strikes coming soon to a city near you. It's like they're worshiping Jack the Ripper there now, because they have such heavy gun control. There are mass stabbings like crazy over there. So you're not really eliminating the crime, you're just redirecting it to a different method.
Yeah. I was going to say, sorry about that, guys. I lost connection here for a minute. That's I don't know what the hell happened. But what I was going to say, Brian, is if you're going to bring that into your act, man, good luck with that, because another reason why I say that is good luck with that, because, obviously we live in a sensitive society today, and you may get some laughs, and you may get like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Like, why would he say that? So
yeah, the political correctness garbage going on. I call it pathetical corruptness, right? I mean, with the woke crowd getting offended by everything, you would get some of those, how dare you try to make that a joke kind of stares.
Especially living in New York. Yeah, especially living in New York City, liberal New York City. I mean, obviously Mayor Eric Adams wouldn't appreciate that, but, it is what it is, right?
Like good comedians, or at least it used to be, good comedians take on serious subject matter and try to deal with it in a way, to through laughs deal with seriousness. I mean,
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, I love Dave. He's pretty much a leftist, but he's good. Dennis Miller used to be an ultra leftist. He does conservative humor mostly now too.
Yeah.
Though, but yeah, the best comedians deal with serious subject matter in a way that can be broached to get past people's defenses. And otherwise, you can't have a serious discussion with.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
because I feel like a lot of comedy right now is like it's more making a point than making a joke, and I don't want to do that. But I also there's like a level of like inauthenticness if you just like go up and like tell a knock knock joke or something. Like it's like what there's like the politics interwoven with it, like you were mentioning, it's interwoven with everything. So I think I'm trying to navigate that, like have a point of view, but also like you don't want to be too no one is there for preachiness. They're there for an escape almost.
You're right. The converse is true. Like all the late night show hosts now, it's like knock knock, who's there? Trump. Trump who? Trump sucks. You're not trying to be funny. You're just being political, and in so doing, your jokes are just garbage. And that's why the late night show hosts, all the talk shows, ratings are falling through the floor, except for like Gutfeld on Fox. Because he's funnier than all of them put together these days.
Well, Joseph, you got to start somewhere, man. All the greats, they sucked when they first started out, but you got to start somewhere. I gotta, Brian, I wish I had some more time, but I have like 10 minutes here before I got to bring on the next guest here, buddy. Some of your material, I know you're on Twitter. Is there any other platforms that some of my listeners can find you at, man?
Just check out the podcast. How cool is this? Wherever you're listening to this, we're there. Only 5 minutes. You can listen to that and then get back to the next episode of Savage Unfiltered. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. And obviously, they can find you on Spotify. Are you on iHeart yet, or are you just on Spotify?
I think we're everywhere podcasts are, except for like Luminary, which I don't know how many people. If you're listening on Luminary, I'm sorry, and we can't help you.
Yeah, Brian, I agree with you. I'm not even on fucking Luminary. I hate that that's a shitty ass platform. But buddy, thanks very much for joining Savage Unfiltered, and good luck with your future endeavors, man. I wish you the best of luck, man.
You too. Take care.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
All right, Joseph. So obviously he seemed fresh, man. I don't know, man. Were you getting that vibe?
Yeah, well, we sure didn't get into a whole lot of humor. We ended up being a lot more serious than
I was trying to give him the floor. Did you notice? I was trying to give him the floor a little bit. Like I'm like, all right, this guy's a comedian. Let me give him the floor a little bit. Let me see, where his background is. But obviously, he wasn't lying, Joseph. He does this in between. He's not a
right.
your stand-up comedian that you would see on a Saturday or Sunday, Friday night. You know what I mean?
Right. Like since I mentioned Gutfeld, like Gutfeld has Joe DeVito or Tom Shalhoub, or I forget the other ones that do it for a living. So they know ahead and prepare and are ready to interject a couple of jokes here and there the whole time. But like you said, you could tell he's just kind of dabbling. So he's not. I think he's more a prepare comic. Whereas if he's going to do a show, he's got a skit together, but he's not very improvisational off the cuff.
Yeah, he almost, I know he's going to listen to this, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to speak the truth here, Joseph. He almost sounds like me, man, like 3 years ago when I first started this shit. We all have to start somewhere. We all have to start somewhere. But listen. I've learned a long time ago. Like there was a big gap between my on-air radio, like 20 something years ago to 3 years ago. I left radio at the age of like 26. I didn't get back into this modern version of radio. Now we call it podcasting until like just 3 years ago when I was like 36 going on 37. There was like a 10, almost 11-year gap. So I had to redevelop my wording. I had to redevelop my personality.
Yeah.
On air, it takes a lot, Joseph. But I've learned this a long time ago. Scripted wording on any type of on-air radio or podcasting, people are just not going to want to listen to you. I'm not trying to be mean, but scripted material, like it almost sounds like you're a robot. It sounds like you're an AI type of person. So if you're going to be like reading, like say I'm reading a piece of paper, I'm going to read something I have right here. It's just example here. Supervisor of Elections, Brevard County. Do you know how scripted that sounds?
Yeah.
I
agree. You've got to be able to be a bit more improvisational and be able to handle things off the cuff and able to pivot quick. And like you said, that comes over time. But I got to say regarding you, if you're this bad now, I hate to imagine how horrible you were 20 years ago. That's a joke.
Sucked.
It's a joke. It's just a joke.
Yeah. For all my snowflake liberals out there that tune in, because we get some snowflake liberals on this fucking show. It's terrible, but it is what it is. You can't really block them out. I don't want to block the snowflake liberals. I love my snowflake liberals. I wish I had some more of them. McKenzie, can we order some snowflake liberals on Amazon?
But it was just a joke. We tease each other. You got to throw in some lightheartedness here and there. Like I've said many a time on this show, with all the seriousness going on around the world these days, and like the seriousness of my book, there's even a comic relief chapter in there. You've got to try to have a sense of humor.
Well, hopefully the therapy twins that are coming on in the next 5 minutes, they can bring some more fucking humor, because this guy felt like I was going to hang myself. Anyway, it's true. I mean, I was like, womp, 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 like that, remember those old back in the day, I don't know, Joseph. Am I being too mean? I know you said Mike can be mean. Remember that show we did, what was it, last week?
I did say that. Which again was a joke too. It was with Pink Sunshine, right? I said, boy, you should be nervous because Mike can be mean, right? And again, it was a joke. It was just some lighthearted banter to try to lighten the mood and, try to ease her tension a little.
But, Joseph, the reason why I'm saying this on air is because, I'm not being an asshole to Brian. I'm trying to hype him up. Folks, I'm doing this to hype people up. I've learned this a long time ago. In order to be successful, you got to heighten up the mood. You got to heighten up the environment, right? Get some daiquiris in there. Let's get some craziness, make some bad decisions, hopefully go wild. Wait, McKenzie, didn't I just like label like a, who the hell fucking said that? That was from a movie. Oh, Vince Vaughn, right? Remember Vince Vaughn? He said, he always used to say those words. But anyways.
Yeah, and if the listeners of Savage Unfiltered know one thing, is that Michael's full of shit. I mean, hype. You're full of hype.
I was full of shit about
another joke.
Joseph, I did have to take a mean shit like an hour ago, but Joseph, I had the most like delicious bagels this morning. They were like everything bagels. They had the onion, the garlic, the poppy seeds, which I'm told don't eat a lot of poppy seeds, guys, right before a drug test because it's automatically a failure. Yeah, you will fail a drug test eating a lot of poppy seed bagels. I've learned that a long time ago in New York City. Oh my God, Joseph, I had like a cup of coffee and a poppy seed bagel like 20 years ago. I went in for a drug test and I fucking failed it. It was terrible. Oh my God.
I've never been at a job that did drug testing, but nowadays I would imagine there's probably more firms, no matter what they do for a living or produce or whatever, with the recreational pot in so many states now that they probably feel they have to do them, which they do still, of course, have a right to, uh, because it is still a federally regulated or deemed illegal federally substance. So
Wait, get the hell out of here. You never had to take a drug test ever before in your life?
nope, nope, never had to take one in my life.
Wow. Damn, you lucked out. I had to take like 20 of them in my lifetime. I must be something. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, you've got that druggy look. I think that's all it was.
What? Oh, fuck you, Joseph, you sons of bitches, you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You look like Shaggy from the Mystery Gang.
You're quoting the show I did earlier this weekend with Pink Sunshine and no, not Pink Sunshine. McKenzie, enlighten me. It was with Sash, right? Yeah, we did the fucking Velma is a lesbian now.
Yeah.
But
Always was. We pretty much all knew it, but now they've got to make it official. I mean, give me a break. More pandering to, there's what, 8 billion people on the planet, but they want to pander to under 1 million people. I mean, just unbelievable. Unfathomable.
Hey, Joseph, hold that thought. I'm going to try to get this in before the therapy twins come in. Guys, I got an announcement here I got to make relating to some of our material that we're talking about today. Guys, I'm going to be doing stand-up. Yeah, I'm getting back to stand-up, something I don't really discuss in the show a lot. I used to do stand-up in between, like I was like 19, 20 years old. I used to do it a lot in Boston and New York, and I kind of fell off that. Into it and see how it goes. But November the 5th, which is the first Saturday of November, I'm going to be doing this show called the Comedy Cosmic Show in Melbourne, Florida. You guys want to get over there? I'm told that, the seats are going to go quick. It's a small little venue. I think they only normally hold like about 20 or 25 seats. It's small. I mean, it's probably like the size of a fucking banquet hall or something. But anyway, head over to Melbourne, Florida, guys. Like I said, I'm going to be doing the Comedy Cosmic Show November 5th. It is the first Saturday of November. There's going to be some amateur comedians there, some medium wig type of comedians, local and statewide. I think there's about like 10 or 15 comedians. They're short little skits, guys, maybe like 10 or 15-minute sets. Very, very short, almost like an improv type of club. But highly suggest you guys head over there. Back to the show here. Guys, we're going to have Therapy Twins joining us here momentarily. Did you get that invite out there, McKenzie? Thank you very much. You're such a sweetheart today. You look very beautiful, by the way. Just wanted to let you know that. She is, Joseph. She's always looking.
Yeah, we've got to go back to video so you can show her on camera. That'll help the ratings.
Yeah. She's going to show herself. She's very shy, but she's very beautiful. She's got like curly hair today with like, like the 1970s curl. Oh God, I got to stop. I'm going to get myself excited on the show, and I don't want to do that. Anyway. But
and just for the record, because I'm sure people are curious, who was calling? Because I'm involved heavily in politics here in Michigan, so I'm usually getting a bunch of calls for people looking for yard signs for Tudor Dixon or any number of Republican candidates. But I've got a dental cleaning appointment Thursday, so I just looked up in my call log. It was my dentist calling, apparently, reminding me of my appointment Thursday, even though I haven't checked the message yet. But I have to screen all my calls. I've got software that I can block people because I get death threats due to my political involvement and now with the book. So But yeah, that's what the rude interruption was. The damn dentist again trying to reconfirm my appointment for the 10th damn time. I told you I'm coming. Shut the hell up. I'll see you Thursday.
Jesus Christ, leave Joseph alone, for Christ's sakes. My God, he's a busy man. He's writing books, he's signing autographs, and he's kissing babies. Well, that was a joke. I don't know about the last part, but anyways,
Oh,
Mackenzie's telling me, what is going on now with the therapy twins? If you usually open it up in your browser, it works. Tell them that, for Christ's sakes. Doesn't anybody know how to operate a fucking iPhone these days? Jesus. Anyways, Joseph, Mackenzie's telling me that the therapy twins are saying that it's not working. They're trying to open up the link to the recording. So I told them, I said, it never works because obviously it doesn't recognize it. You need to have the app. If you have like the Anchor FM app, which is the guest link, it goes right into it right away. But if you don't have the app, you have to open it on the web browser. So I told her.
That's how I interact with you, right? I don't have the app. I don't want the app. I don't use the app. I interact on a laptop. But you're right. Maybe they're using a phone, and the phone is expecting to see the app. Therefore, it won't work.
Yeah. Everybody uses a phone now these days. I don't even think anybody, back in the day, we used to carry, I used to do it. I used to carry a tablet with me. And people are like, Mike, why the hell are you carrying a fucking tablet all over the place? Because it's easy. It's convenient. The fucking thing was like 10 inches, but.
Yeah, I can't stand the small screen. I still pretty much just use my phone, my smartphone for a phone, for texting, or for my GPS because I don't have GPS in my car. But beyond that, I don't have a boatload of apps like people do. I do all my social media through my laptop, so I got a nice size screen, full size, a 14-inch screen for the browser, not trying to strain my eyeballs to read all that small print on that stupid small screen. I don't know how people do it. Their eyes are going to be toast in no time.
Yeah. So Mackenzie, what's going on with therapy twins? Hold on, Joseph, 1 second. I got it.
All right. Yeah, 20, 30 years from now, everybody's going to be, they're coming in now. 20, 30 years from now, everybody's going to have them big, thick Coke bottle lens type glasses because they destroyed their eyes on the small screens all day long.
I hear you. Hold on, Joseph. Let me introduce you to the therapy twins, a humorous set of women. I've had them on before on this show. I think you're in for a treat. Thank God you're on the show, Joan and Jane. We had a gentleman before you by the name of Brian that left me and Joseph ready for a tree or something. My God.
A quick and easy death. Yes, well known.
So Joan and Jane, this is my panelist here. I have him on my show now on Mondays and Wednesdays. He is the author of a political book, a very, very, very good book on Amazon, which is doing phenomenal. Joseph M. Leonard, the author of Terror Strikes Coming to a City Near You, on the show today.
Yay, Joan and Jane. I'm going to do the same with you like I did Brian, who is trying out comedy, but you could tell he's still in his early years. So like I said to him, so you think you're funny, eh? Make me laugh, right? How many times a day do you get that?
Ladies, are you there?
Uh-oh, did we lose them? It says they're connected, but...
Yeah, well, they might have their audio or something down. Ladies, you have to turn the audio up. Yes, that's the little button. Are you there?
Give us a second. Did you hear us?
Now
Now
we
you can
can.
hear it.
Yeah.
Oh,
We can
okay.
hear
Hi
you.
there. Oh, sorry about that. You didn't hear the response. No, I never get that ever. You notice she says no, I never get that. She didn't say we because it's well known that Jane, the partner, the wingman over here, I don't ever get it. Hey, she can bore you to death. I sure can.
Well, please go through what Brian did. My God, we were, oh boy. Joseph was ready to hang himself, he said. But guys, I have the privilege and honor of welcoming back the Therapy Twins. They are former therapists, now turned comedian influencers, and they are the authors of the most funniest self-help book you'll ever read. I read it, Joan and Jane. It's funny. It's hilarious. It got me cracking up, really. Some of the stuff that you say in the book, I mean, you said on my show earlier, during the first part we've had you on, I had to bring you back on because you got into some humorous stuff that, I mean, wow. So welcome back to the show, ladies. I made sure I said ladies last time. I said guys, and I was like, oh, God, they're not guys, they're women.
Well, it depends. Maybe they're identifying different these days. Hey,
I don't know. We got silent.
did we lose them again?
I think we got crickets again. It's all right. Anyways, Joseph, I guess until they get their audio connections correctly over there, you got to read the book here. They got a really, really funny book. Just Google search them. I don't even think is there a title to this? I'm not really sure. I didn't see a title. But anyways, God, now I hear silence on my end. Joseph, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here too. I don't. I'm at a loss for words too. This is just a another one of those odd shows.
I'm telling you, they weren't like this the first time. They were funny. They were, oh God, they were comical. I don't know what's going on. Ladies, are you here on the show or? I don't know. You got to throw that like 1980 cell phone away and get in with the technology.
Yeah, we can see that they're still connected, but ladies, we don't hear a peep from you again. If you're talking, we ain't hearing.
All right. So what I'm going to do is, if you can hear me, okay.
Now they dropped. Okay, maybe they'll come back in and it'll work.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, it's technology today. I get it. We have our technology issues on the show sometimes. Joseph is like, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He's back in the show. All right. But yeah, we're gonna get back to video, Joseph. I noticed that you said video. We're gonna be doing video in January. We have a super great launch for that. I think you're gonna be highly impressive. We're just about done with the studio. We're building a homemade studio here in the comforts of my home, and it's gonna look really nice, really, really nice. I just ordered like almost a $300 LED panel. That's a custom panel from LED Works. Has my logo on it. Oh God, I can't say more than enough. It's gonna look like I'm somewhere like in the actual studio of iHeartRadio. But yeah, obviously,
I hope it's good that you're letting people know. And yeah, I prefer video. I think nowadays a lot of people. Like Brian was saying, people tune in for an hour audio broadcast, but people want video these days. We're, of the video age. Remember when MTV first started, the first video they played was "Video Killed the Radio Star," right? I mean, we're very visual people these days, so it will be great when you get back to that. And it's good that people are hearing that, you're investing a lot of money in this. So you're not some fly by nighter like some of them out there are.
Yeah, obviously Joseph, he can vouch for me on the show. I mean, he sees the graphics, guys. He sees the differences, the difference makers that we're bringing into the show. I mean, when I had Joseph on, I think we were just like a normal show then we were developing, and we're bringing in graphics, we're bringing in special like sound effects here and there into the show. We're having fun with the show. I actually thought about this not too long ago, Joseph, where, like McKenzie and I were thinking, like, how can we make this show more interesting? So we decided, we'll bring in some sound effects, we'll bring in some special effects, we'll bring in more to, to have the listener listen more,
Yeah.
And with the guests, bringing in different guests from different backgrounds, that's what makes the show as well, too,
Yeah. Well, I want McKenzie. You need a rim shot, a drum rim shot for what my lame jokes to help land them better. Bad.
Yeah, definitely. Joseph, did you hear hopefully the therapy twins can come back. That's a bummer, guys. But anyway, did you hear I did a show with Jimmy the Rant last week. He came back. We did a show on wrestling. Did you tune into that, bud?
No, I skipped it. I didn't hear it.
Oh, yeah. You have some type of thing with Jimmy. Yeah, he said something during that one episode where I don't know why he said that, but Jimmy's Jimmy, man. Sometimes he can be, a little bit out there sometimes where I even question, like, Jimmy, like, why would you say something like that?
Yeah, well, I know there's a lot of people out there that still have issues and questions of 9/11, and I can understand and respect that. But what I can't respect is when we were doing a show as a tribute to those who died and responders, to interject that malarkey on that particular show. That has its own time and place, and that was not that day's, place.
Oh yeah. I can totally agree with you, Joseph. I mean, I did say, for the listeners that I promoted that show, I was like, this show is going to be a little somewhat personal. I'm sure it's going to reach a lot of different people, but even a show like that, I even questioned Jimmy off the air. I'm like, Jimmy, like, hey man, there's some words, man. You just,
Yeah, I had an interview with Roger Landry of the Liberty Beacon. He has a show called Exposing EPI, exposing. I forget what the P is, but poisoned information or something about misinformation and fake news and stuff. And he was interviewing me about the book, and he started going down the road of false flags and things of that nature. And I just kind of stayed quiet, but I posted afterwards. I don't get into false flag stuff in my book. And the reason that I don't, not that I'm saying they don't occur, they do occur. I mean, we have a false flag here in Michigan. You've probably all heard the fake Whitmer kidnapping plot that was all arranged by the FBI trying to sucker and railroad some people into this fake plot. So false flags are a real thing. I don't get into them in my book, and I don't discuss any issue or potential of 9/11 as a false flag operation, mainly because it would then be the sole focus in a lot of people's minds to the book. So I avoid that. I respect, 9/11 truthers. Some of them, they have some valid concerns. I understand that, but some of them are just complete nuts. But I avoid that in my book, other than a brief mention where my character says, the delicate issue of dealing with 9/11 truthers. But again, try to avoid that, because then it lands up becoming a sole focus and a major contention of everybody.
Yeah, I know. I mean, he said to me, like, like even off the air, he was getting into some things like, like Mike, we normally focus on that, like conspiracy theories on your show and stuff like that. I was like, yes, I understand we get into that to an extent, but man, you're talking about like how you're saying that like a former president, like possibly blew up the World Trade Center. I mean, that's crazy, man. Like, you don't say shit like that. Like, come on, man. I know you and we've mentioned the COVID thing where some of it could have been planned out, but that's different, man. That's different.
Yeah.
That's not like you're not you're doing it for profit, right? You're influencing vaccines for profit. 9/11 is totally different. Totally different.
Yeah, I mean, the hijackers were here. We know them. We saw them. You would have to believe that somehow live television was deep faked and manipulated. That planes did not really hit the World Trade Center. That is just nuttiness. We all saw it happening on live TV.
Hello, can you hear us?
We can hear you now, loud.
Oh my God! Wow, that took forever. Thank you, baby Jesus. Unbelievable. Oh, and that wee little donkey.
It's okay. It's okay. So therapy twins here. We got you back on for part 2. Did you hear any of of what we were saying? Obviously, I don't know if you were introduced to Joseph here. Joseph is a panelist.
We think we were introduced to Mr. He knows a lot about politics, and we don't.
Oh, okay. So tell us, how have you been since the last time we talked to you guys, or lady? Excuse me. I'm doing. I'm sorry.
No, we've been really good because we are in Florida, and that hurricane missed us.
It missed you.
Yeah,
it didn't.
We didn't lose power, nothing.
How the hell did it miss you? I got the whole ass and the front end of it.
You know the little tip down there where it didn't get the storm kind of went above the bottom portion of the peninsula part. And it avoided that, and it went a little north.
Well, that's good.
You're down around the Keys then?
Well, not really. No, we're down around. I don't know where we are. We're close. No, the one that lives here, and I'm just the snowbird. The snowbird knows. We're like 10 miles inland from Deerfield Beach.
Deerfield Beach. I know where that is. Yes. Yeah. You guys are on the East Coast of Florida, if I have my GPS correct. Yeah.
Yeah. About a half hour north of Fort Lauderdale.
Well, I'm in the middle, and I got the whole damn thing of it. I got the front, the back, the side, the other side, and the freaking feet, and it was really, really bad. But anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael is both figuratively and literally in the middle of everything.
Probably. But anyways, we're glad to have you back on. We're glad the audio is working, to an extent. All right. Hello?
Oh, no. Did we lose them again?
I think so.
Oh, God.
Where are they broadcasting from?
Somebody is trying to sabotage this episode.
I'm telling you. I don't know. I hope they're therapy twins. If you could hear me, the best probably communication you could talk to us on, if the cell phone ain't working, I would strongly suggest a laptop or a tablet. And if they ain't working, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should just blame Verizon. It's their "can you hear me now" commercials. Fuck no, we can't hear you.
Fuck, man. Anyways, geez, I think this is going to be the most blanded episode we ever done.
Okay,
hello. Hey, we're back.
Hey, there you are again.
We're not going to touch it. It's on the table. We're going to leave it.
Okay, we're gonna.
I was just joking with Michael that we're going to blame Verizon. Are you with Verizon? Because they have the stupid "can you hear me now" ads.
No,
It's like, no, we
fuck
can't.
Verizon. They are so expensive. Yeah, but we're worse. It's T-Mobile. Oh, wait.
God.
Oh, it's
Oh,
that?
God.
Yeah. Why? Oh, what should we change to?
I don't know. Joseph, you have any suggestions at this point?
Well, I have good luck with Consumer Cellular. I left AT&T because their pricing was just ridiculous. Consumer Cellular uses all the AT&T equipment, so it's like, why am I paying AT&T $75 for both a landline and a cell phone when Consumer Cellular I could get both for $45?
I never
So
even
said,
heard
bye
of it.
bye.
Jane, write that down. I wrote it down. Consumer Cellular. Okay, great. Boy, you are a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, if you got a Target store near you, Consumer Cellular usually works through Target stores. So you could probably find a Target store near you to have them switch your SIM over to them. And it's a lot less expensive. And I've never had any problem with them since I've been with them the last 2.5, 3 years.
I don't know, Joseph. Maybe you should be the fucking spokesperson of this.
Yeah.
Well, no, do you see the ads? Who is that? The guy from Cheers. He's also got that new mayor show. I forget his name. He's the spokesperson.
The Ted guy, right?
Yeah, Ted Danson. That's
There we go. Yeah. He's a creeper, by the way. We don't meet. We don't mention Ted dancing on this show, by the way. But anyways, Joseph obviously has awesome service there in the Detroit area. So, but anyway, we hearing crickets again? Crickets. Are they there?
No.
I think are they still there?
Well, it says they're connected, but we can't hear you again. So who knows what's going on there?
Joseph, I have to say, it wasn't like this the first time. I had tremendous service with them last time. Now they're good for like 2-3 minutes, if that.
Yeah. They get a couple sentences out, and then that's it.
Well, the show is scheduled to 2:45 Eastern. Hopefully, we can get a fucking episode of them by then.
Now, hopefully, we still have people tuned in. Hello to anybody still with us.
Yeah, we're broadcasting off of a 1992 server. Yeah, sorry, folks. I'm telling you, I hope it's not like this with Joseph. I have a woman tuning in tomorrow, actually, with me and Sauce. She's going to be on the Savage Brief. She's tuning in. Oh God, 15 hours ahead of us. So tomorrow's episode, pre-recorded episode, will be broadcasted tomorrow here on the East Coast, Tuesday, and she's going to be joining us on Wednesday. Kind of similar to the other woman I was talking to from Wales. She's from Australia, so hopefully we don't have any problems with the woman from Australia, man.
Yeah, I've done a couple interviews with Australia and thankfully had no problems. Of course, that's purely anecdotal. It doesn't mean that your connection will be fine with them or not. And the way today's going, who knows, huh?
I'm telling you. I mean, McKenzie, do you have anybody that's standby here? Jesus, can we get a standby guest? I mean, anybody. I'll take a fucking hobo off the street, for Christ's sakes. I mean, God.
Well, it's too bad we're not on video yet, or maybe McKenzie could come out and do a song and dance tap routine for us.
Oh God, Joseph, this is a woman, for Christ's sakes. Don't say stuff like that. She's not going to dance on the show. Have some class, man.
I'm not saying pole dancing. I said, a classic tap routine.
Oh God, folks, I think Joseph is like excited or something. Jeez.
Well, this show has gone off the rails. My mind is now like all over the place. I don't know where we're going. what to say. Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, if I still have listeners tuning into today's show, I mean, we are like an hour and 28 minutes into the show. I'm gonna do it in minutes if it's okay with Joseph here. Hopefully, we can get the therapy twins back. McKenzie obviously says that we had a guest that also wanted to come on, so we're gonna reach out to them, see if they want to come on for like 10 minutes just to shoot something. Hopefully, make the show relevant for the next 10 or 15 minutes because the service level we're getting from the therapy twins is not great. But
yeah,
folks,
we need a new set of therapists.
I'm telling you, and these are well-known comedians too, folks. I mean, you can look them up. They've been on several shows, different podcasts. They have a book out. They are former therapists, but they just keep that title, Joseph, just because they're using it as a comedian act. You know,
it's fun. It's funny. I did listen to the other show that you had them on. And if you've not heard them before, which I hadn't until you had them on, people should go check out that show. Don't let today be an indicator. Obviously, they're comedians. They're not IT people. They're not good with the technical aspects.
Yeah, you. 1 second, Joseph. I'll get a. If you don't mind, man, if you got anything to talk about, man, you could talk about something real quick. Mackenzie's got to talk to me something real quick off the air here. So I'm gonna mute him. So if you want to carry that for like 2 minutes, man, that's great.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just go back to the weather. And I mean, we're getting close to Halloween, hopefully. Unfortunately, of course, I bought candy 2.5 weeks ago on sale. And of course, ate every bit of the candy that I bought 2.5 weeks ago. So I bought some more just the other day. Hopefully you guys out there in the audience are getting ready for the kiddies to come by in costume. It's about the only thing I like about this time of the year. I was on radio just the other day where we were talking about autumn. The whole show was dedicated to autumn. And I say the only thing I like about autumn is indeed Halloween, and that hockey season starts. And thankfully, we've got another guest now.
Yeah. So before I bring on the preacher man here, thank you for the weather updates, Joseph. Thank you. I had to go off the mic here for a minute to talk to producer McKenzie. Hopefully we can keep the show relevant for the next 15 minutes. Thank you, preacher man. I know it was last minute, but we had a guest on. They were having some audio issues, and I just didn't want to continue the show without some type of relevancy here on the show, man. Terrible this guest. But how you doing, buddy? How's it going, man?
I'm doing great. And yourself?
I could be doing better. Joseph here could be doing better as well. But we've had some guests on the show. Brian, that was a complete bland. We were like, oh boy, is it over yet? One of those shows, man. But how's everything going in your neck of the woods there in North Carolina, pal?
It's going great. It's sunny outside, so can't really complain. And just happy to be here and on the show again.
Yeah, I know. For October, the weather is really nice here in Michigan today, too, Dave.
Oh, wow. Normally, that's what you guys normally get snow around this time, or
we can. Out there? Yeah, we can have snow at this time of the year, but we do usually have, what they call what the hell do we call it? A late summer surge, like a fall. I forget what the hell they technically call that, but whatever. Yeah, where there is a bit of a warm up even in the fall. We got a bit of that today.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Michigan, that's wild.
So what is that? Are you getting a phone call, Jim?
Yeah, I got another damn call coming through. Like I said before, the ringer on my phone won't turn down, so I can't turn it down. I just have to put a towel over it. And
I hear you. By the way, Joseph, we brought David on. He has a podcast himself too. So we got another podcast host on the show. We had Brian on the show earlier, about an hour and a half ago, and David has a podcast as well too called Frazier Chronicles, which I had him on the first time. The first merry-go-round.
I was on that show with you. Yeah, I remember, David.
Yeah. And then we're going to be, what the hell is going on over there, Joseph? Are you getting murdered or something?
That wasn't me. That must have been from David then. That time. It sounded like clanging pots and pans.
But yeah, we're going to be, I'm going to be on his show coming up here on the 22nd, right? Did I say that right?
Yes, the 22nd. Yes, sir.
Yeah, 22nd. Yeah, we're going to be, should be a really, really good show. He's got a good show. He always has, I caught your last two shows, by the way, David. You had a really good guest not too long ago, probably about a month ago.
Yes.
I think that was like your last two current guests that you had, gentlemen, that you kind of touched a topic that's very sensitive, with the black on black crime.
Yes.
And I actually found that episode very, very interesting because that's a subject that does not get talked about a lot on mainstream media, buddy.
Amen.
Right.
I feel like the deep state is going to probably try to cut into this conversation now because you're right. That is something the left does not ever want discussed when you deal with facts and data and, the horrors of that happening. And what can we do, David, to stop this slaughter that's going on?
Well, when I look at it, this is just my opinion. I think that first we got to understand one another and understand each other. When we understand each other, we can open our mind up to other people's opinions and other people's thoughts. When we go into those things that they really hinder us, if it makes sense. Because going in with a closed mind, not really understanding the person, you kind of go in there saying, I'm not going to listen to what they're saying because I already have my opinions. I have my own thoughts. I think us getting to know one another and us really understanding each other makes the difference in the whole thing. So if we come together, really get to open our minds up, understand that there are going to be people that are different than us, understand that there are going to be people who believe different than us, talk different than us, look different than what we look. We still have to open up our minds and accept them for who they are more so than, looking at them and saying, you know what? Because they don't look like me, I can't accept them. Because they don't look like me, I can't listen to them. Because they don't look like me, I can't do certain things with them. So I think if we go that route of just opening up and accepting people for who they are, we can really move it to a better direction than what we already are in right now.
Yeah, and it's certainly not just a black issue. I mean, the issue of gang violence is a white, black, Hispanic, every shade in between issue. And a lot of it seems to be fatherless families and gangs taking the place of one of the parental units, giving them a sense of belonging that they're missing.
Right. Yes. And I would like to expound on that right there. And that's the thing, when a kid grows up in a fatherless home, and I want to talk about a fatherless home, even though I grew up with both of my parents, some of the things that I've seen when people are growing up in a home where they don't have a father, their mother, and I'm not trying to say women can't raise a man, but I'm going to say it, they can, because there are certain things that a father gives to a son that a mother can't. And when you are missing that, you're looking for that in different places. And that's how a lot of people become familiar with gangs. They're joining gangs. They're joining organizations that harm them more than do good to them because they're trying to fill a void. And when they go to these organizations and they join these organizations, they're thinking in their mind that, I'm getting the love and affection that my dad would give me. Not understanding that those organizations don't give them that. These organizations give them the total opposite because they found somebody who's vulnerable. That's what they prey off, the vulnerability of that individual. So when you have that going on, you get a messy situation, and it just gets messier and messier after as the situation moves on.
Amen, preacher man. And the converse is true. You need a father and a mother, a male and a female, not just a father figure and a mother figure. You need both genders, a real mother and father parent, to give you the balance. Because the left likes to talk about toxic masculinity, where if a mother is absent through whatever death, perhaps early on in the child's life, and the father doesn't remarry, you can get indeed some of that toxic masculinity, as much as I hate that word. I mean, just look at the prisons full of angry men.
Yes.
Yeah, I just had a conversation not too long ago, guys, with somebody about this issue, and there was part of that conversation that was brought up was, like, why are we, seeing so much, crime, and I hate to put the race card in it, but you usually see a lot of crime in Black communities, not so much white communities. So there are crime in white communities, but you see a lot of it in the Black communities. And the reason behind that is, and I don't know, I mean, this could be true or this could be false, but this is coming from a personal, viewpoint for myself. I see a lot less of the father, in that role, in the Black community, in that Black household, rather than
that is why it is disproportionate. And I get pissed off with again, the left saying, again, the statistics: Blacks disproportionately in prison, or Blacks disproportionately committing crime. Well, they refuse to get to the root cause, like we're discussing here, right, David? The lack of the father.
Yes.
But here, hold on, David. But that is that, like, why are we seeing, listen, guys, again, it shouldn't be a race card. It shouldn't be, the race being projected into this, but like, why is it always projected that way, where the Black community is always looked as the criminals, and there are more Blacks in prisons rather than whites, and this and that? Like, why is it like that? Is it because, of that fatherless environment, or is it something entirely different?
It's mainly because of that. And if you listen to Candace Owens or even Kanye West, love them both. I was never a big fan of Kanye as far as his music went before, but I'm certainly more of a fan of him now that he speaks out. That's the leftist mentality. As Candace Owens calls it, it's the new Democrat plantation. They are still racist. They are destroying the Black family, trying to make government the daddy in the Black community. And it's destructive, not just to Blacks, but to whites or Asians or Hispanics, anybody, anywhere where there is not the two-parent family structure. It's destructive.
Yeah. I mean, we have David on, and David, you represent, that community very well. Like, why do you think it is like that, sir? Like, where's the disconnect? Because there's a huge disconnect.
So when we look back through the history line, I'm going to go back far into the slave fields, and if I can go far back to that slave field, to get, first off, let people understand that when women in the black man and black woman were together in the slave fields, they only were there to produce another workhorse, if it makes sense. When they were in the slave field, that's what happened. So when you move to the 21st century, you still have those same ties that were in the slave field happening now. The man leaves a woman, right? And in the Black community, that is big like that. A Black man will leave a woman to raise these kids on her own. That came from the slave fields. Not only that, we have a guy named Willie Lynch. I don't know if you guys read the Willie Lynch letter, but I would like for you to eventually look out and read that. The Willie Lynch letter really signifies how to control the woman. You put them against each other. And that's what we're having now in the 21st century is you having black men against black women. And that's been happening for so long that you would never get these two people on the same playing field as long as they continuously keep the past a part of the present. You have to move past the past and create a new present. And that's when you'll get, okay, the two people on one accord. Now we can put the woman into the house. Now we can, or the man into the house with the woman. Now we have family. In the slave fields, they broke the family. They took the man out of the picture. He was only good enough to make another workhorse. And now we're trying to continuously change the narrative in the black community. But again, once we start making progress, we take 20 steps back because here's a new law that's been in place, or here is a new governor or a new president or whoever comes in and makes this thing go back into a discombobulated environment. And that's where we get that disconnect. That's where we're at right now here in the 21st century. You know,
I agree with you 100%, David. That's where Candace Owens talks about the new Democrat plantation. They're still the racists, and they still want to keep that slave mindset like you laid out.
Yes, exactly. And that's
for issues of power and control over you.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's why Candace Owens is getting attacked so much. I mean, you know, oh God, Reverend Sharpton, right? Al Sharpton, not too long ago. What was that, about a few years ago? If I think I have it correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of your own race. You know, you're a betrayal of your own race." And this, why? She's a betrayal of her own race because she's speaking the truth. Is it because you don't like the truth? I think that's what the left is fearing. You know, you see this divide, you know, in the black community when you have a conservative black woman, a very educated black woman by the name of Candace Owens and others that are now speaking up, and they are seeing what has, you know, Candace Owens just pointed out the corruption coming out of the Black Lives Matter movement in the last 3 years, which actually there are lawsuits literally piling up right now. I think there was a celebrity not too long ago that now wants her money back after donating $300,000 to the cause, you know, which, I mean, to be honest with you folks, I mean, were they really for the black community? No, it was just another publicity thing, another publicity stunt where they actually, nothing was for the black lives. It was all for media props.
Yeah. And Candace Owens is kind of a modern day Frederick Douglass. He was a leftist. Frederick Douglass also was a leftist and spewed those, you know, I forget the name of his famous piece, The Left Loves to Quote, about American slaves, but he later educated himself just like Candace did and realized, no, we weren't really racist foundings. The Constitution at one point actually had a clause, or still does, it's in there, where slavery would be ended. I think it was the year 1808. There was a historian on just the other day on another show discussing it. Our founders made a compromise. Frederick Douglass learned the Constitution was really an abolitionist document, and we don't teach history, so kids don't know that. But the 3/5 clause wasn't meant to help the slave owners. It was meant to limit the slave owners' property because they wanted every slave counted for the purpose of the census, for Democrats to have power and control, whereas abolitionists limited blacks to 3/5, not because abolitionists thought blacks were less than human, but to limit the slaveholders' power in Congress, knowing we as a nation were going to abolish slavery at some point in the future and uphold our founding principles of all men created equal.
Yeah. Yeah, you labeled it very, very accurately, Joseph. Oh boy, David. I was going to say, man, you may want to record this even on your end, man. You can make it into a bonus episode. I mean, turn it into some really, really good content. But
Oh yeah.
But
well, we started off with supposedly going to have two comedians, and now we're into some real deep shit.
Oh yeah.
Well, the deep shit right now, Joseph, is making up for the crap that we had to endure for like the first hour and 20 minutes with Brian. We David, you had to hear this guy. He's supposedly in. Listen, guys, I'm not an ass. I'm not a jerk. I just state it as it is. Where we thought we were going to get something really, really good from this guy. I read his profile and everything, and he does have a show called How Cool Is This podcast. He's based out of New York City, which left me and Joseph in crickets. I mean, we were literally hearing crickets the whole damn show, and along with the therapy twins too. We're supposed to have therapy twins on here, Joan and Jane, but apparently they're having some audio issues in South Florida. So I thank you for coming on last minute, buddy. I really do. When I had you on the first time, I seen something really special in you, and I really wish the best for your podcast, and I really am excited to come on in the middle of this month with you. Can't wait to see what we're going to be talking about, but hopefully, what we're talking about now, I didn't blow some material out of your show, if that's where you were going. So if you were going that route, I'm very, very sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I have something way different for us to talk about.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, keep me in the glue with it, so I can feel surprised, because that's what makes a show. I've learned that a long time ago. Never tell your guest or even some of your personalities that you have on the show what it's about, because you want that surprise. So.
Oh yeah.
Definitely looking forward to it.
I'm glad we went down the road we did, because again, most listeners by now know I'm from the Detroit area. So, I mean, we obviously have very black areas, we have very lily white areas, and we have a lot of other areas that are very well diversified, interracially mixed. And I have friends of all shapes, sizes, colors, and everything. So this topic is very important to me. In fact, I have a good friend named Phil Stargell who has a Wham radio show Saturday mornings called the Abolitionist Roundtable, about abolitionism of the slavery age, and then today's abolitionism of trying to stop the black genocide of the planned slaughterhouse clinics, because Black babies are way more disproportionately murdered in the womb than whites. And his co-host is Bruce Fleury, who wrote the book The Negro Project, all about Margaret Sanger and her plan to exterminate blacks.
Yeah, it's sad what's going on. It really is,
Oh yeah.
It's really sad, because for years and decades, that race card has been very well preserved in this nation, and it shouldn't be that way. Blacks are just as much educated as whites, and it shouldn't be like, oh well, whites are so much more educated than blacks. No, it's not that. How many I have black friends, folks, that are very, very educated. They have a very high IQ, and some of them are very, very well successful. And I can tell you right now, I don't know why that label has to come out constantly, and it baffles me.
You've got good and bad in every race. You've got stupid and smart in every race. I mean, if we're talking statistically, Asians are at the top of the pool, right? As far as educational statistics go, they're not any genetically more superior than anybody else. It's just they have education ingrained in them to be a far more serious subject, unfortunately, than a lot of us around the bigger cities do, white and black in America, and it's sad.
Well, according to Andrew Yang, Joseph, that's not the case, right? I noticed he said something about Asians like about a year and a half, 2 years ago, when Trump was in office, that Asians are not very intelligent. But I don't know. Maybe that was like a gaffe or something that he wasn't really supposed to say. So
Yeah.
who knows,
Well, education is becoming more and more of an issue, and we discussed it on another show. Tudor Dixon is running for governor here, and education is a big part of the reason why she's gaining in the polls against wretched Hitler, as we call her, who, is more into wokeism in the schools. Like I've said over and over, we used to have the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic, and I'll throw history in there too, because there's an R. Today, the left only wants to peddle radicalism, raunch, and racism through CRT, and it's got to stop. We got to get back to the basics, or China is going to eat our lunch.
Pretty much. David here, we're going to close it off here. I thank you for joining last minute. I know McKenzie shot you that invite last minute. So thank you for attending today's show. Any final thoughts, sir, before we depart?
The final thoughts that I would like to give is I just hope that many people today, especially after listening to this show and more of your shows, will come to the table with an open mind. Just think about, how does this affect not only me, but the future generation? How does this affect others? I think a lot of times we sometimes become selfish and we think more about ourselves. If I'm benefiting from this, I don't care about no one else. But if it's going to affect me, now all of a sudden I'm caring about everybody else, because I'm more afraid of, how does this affect me? And I'll just say this in the closing, on my end is, hopefully a lot of people will learn and continuously learn, because learning is what keeps us grounded. Every day, if we learn something new, that's a plus. If we never learn anything else and we keep everything that we already learned, we're going to always fall behind the 8 ball. So I'm just hoping that everybody just goes out here and learns and keep an open mind.
You said it very well. Guys, you just heard David Frazier. He's got a podcast called Frazier Chronicles, known as the Preacher Man, a podcast host, a pastor, and a motivational speaker. Thank you very much, Mr. David where's my words at? David Frazier. Sorry about that. I've been up since early this morning, since 4, so bear with me, buddy. Thank you very much.
I'm here with you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you for tuning in, bud. And I'll see you on your show October 22nd, guys. I'm going to be on his show, Frazier Chronicles, with David Frazier, known as the Preacher Man. Thanks very much, buddy, for tuning in to Savage Unfiltered. And you have a great day, okay?
Yes, sir. You do the same. Thank you again for allowing me to come on.
Yeah,
all right,
thank
buddy.
you for stopping by, David, and salvaging the remnants of what was a very, very off the rails show before you came on.
Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
You too.
All right, Joseph. So what'd you think of the Preacher Man? You said you were on his Joseph. I got to remind you weren't on that show, buddy.
I was. Oh, I'm thinking I was, because I listened to it. I'm remembering things he said, but yeah, no, I guess I wasn't, but I did listen to it.
Yeah, I want to apologize to the listeners here before we depart, guys. My wording is here and there, guys. You got to remember, I've been up since 4 a.m., so I'm surprised I'm still carrying the show with Joseph here, an hour, almost 2 hours into the show.
Yeah.
Joseph, I do want to thank you, buddy. You're a good friend of mine for showing the commitment once again for a 2-hour show, man. It's gonna be an interesting show. Don't you worry. Well, I think we just made the show 10 times better than it was.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I was confused was because I think I spoke to you about that episode the time I was on with you after that, and I was joking about with his last name Frazier being a spinoff of the Kelsey Grammer Frazier show.
Oh man, I just reminded you, Joseph. I'm sure you probably wanted to say that. Yeah, I'm sure you wanted to say that to him just now. I think you forgot to say that, but it's all right.
But yeah, I said that to you in another episode, and that's what confused me, thinking I was on with him. But we discussed him on another episode. That's what it was. So
yeah, he's a good podcast host. I'm so excited to be on his show. Like again, it's October 22nd. I had so much fun having him on the first time, and I'm glad he came on last minute because I know he's busy. He's a pastor, he's a podcast host, he's a motivational speaker, and he does so much greatness there for his community there in North Carolina. I forgot where the hell he lived. I think he lives somewhere. I know it's North Carolina, but I know it's not too far from Charlotte. So,
yeah, hopefully the therapy twins will figure out the issues they were having, and you can have them back some other time again. Because like I said, I did listen to the time that you had them on, and it weren't the audio issues, and it was a great show.
Yeah, they're usually they were funny the first time around, and like we didn't have audio issues with them the first time, but I'm not really sure. I know they live in South Florida. It's not too far from Hollywood. Deerfield Beach is. Oh, that's a good trip from me. I'm in Orlando, so it's about maybe 3.5, 4 hours, just about. I know it's not too far from Hollywood and Fort Lauderdale. It's like right between there. So, but I don't know. Hopefully the audio down there in South Florida can get their acts together, right? But
yeah, and hopefully we had people hanging with us to the end. Where you're right, we got quality show. But you kind of had to wade through a pile of manure to get to it.
Yeah. With the first comedian, Brian Reitz, I think that's how you say his last name. I could, he's young. He sounds like a young man just getting into it. So I wish him the best. And then the Joan and Jane, the therapy twins, they just actually hold that thought. What's that? Oh, we just got a notation from them. They're going to try again on the 17th. God willing, we can get them hopefully on the 17th. Which is that?
Yeah, but as far as Brian goes, I don't want to give him a hard time. Like, he's just working and learning his craft. It takes time. It's like you had said when you first started. There's always a learning curve on anything, and I wish him luck as a comedian. I kind of was hoping he'd interject a little bit of humor here and there, but we didn't get it this time. But maybe next time.
Well, we also reached out here because I got to close it out here with you soon, Joseph. But we also reached out to. Collective Coal. There we go. Remember Collective Coal that was on the show here?
Yes.
You liked her. Yeah, you said you're like, ooh, I like her. We got to get her back on.
Yeah.
She's going to be back on soon. I know her schedule is kind of busy. She's going through some type of med school type of thing. So, but it's we're going to try to get her back on. I know, like I said, I have the Australian coming on. This Australian woman coming on tomorrow, being sauce, and that damn phone of Joseph's, but it's okay.
I'm going to drop off because my fucking phone is ringing again.
It's all right, Joseph. I'm gonna let you get that phone call, guys. Remember, hit that like and follow button on all major podcast platforms, and we will see you tomorrow on Savage Brief with myself.
Take care, brother. God bless.
All right, Joseph. Take it easy, buddy.
From the space coast of Florida to Motor City, Detroit, this is the Savage Unfiltered Podcast with Michael and Joseph, an Anchor FM broadcast on iHeart